Those protesting the shooting death of 18-year-old Michael Brown are highlighting one of the most troubling aspects of his death, that he was shot while he was clearly unarmed. Hands up, don't shoot has become their chant. And it reflects a lesson so many in black communities find ourselves passing along to our young men in our lives. Always show the police that you are not a threat. We have even had that conversation on this show before with teens, George Nunez, Diallo McClammy, and C.J. Morrison. These three young men first joined us in March 2012, less than 1 month after Trayvon Martin was killed, not by police, but by a member of the Neighborhood Watch. Here, C.J. Morrison speaks about one of 2 times he was stopped by police after walking home from a park with his friends.
The cop rolls by, he slows down, he stops, and he starts questioning us, like, what are you guys doing? Like you have drugs, and asking us, like, why are we out so late? And it's like, we just came from the park. Like, behind us is the park. Like, why are you questioning us in this way?
For CJ, his daily reality is one where the perceived threat of danger attributed to him and other young African-American men can lead to dangerous and sometimes deadly outcomes. These days, CJ adheres to certain self-made guidelines when going out. This week, he told us, quote, "When I do go out, I go out with people I trust, people who I know won't put me in dangerous situations. You have to go out with a plan, know who you will leave with and how you will leave." Too often, African-American children are forced to shed the carefree choices of childhood because we have to talk with them about how to stay safe, not only from unknown assailants, but often from the very people meant to protect them. At the table, Jonathan Metzl, professor of psychiatry at Vanderbilt University, Phillip Atiba Goff, who is professor of social psychology at UCLA and visiting scholar at the Harvard Kennedy School and president of the Center for Policing Equity in Los Angeles. Jamelle Bouie, a staff writer at Slate magazine, who is just back from reporting in Ferguson, Missouri. And joining me from Miami is Phillip Agnew, executive director of Dream Defenders, an organization working for social change. Hold for me just a second, Phillip, because I do want to come to you first, Jamelle, because you're just coming out of Ferguson. Did you talk with young people there, and what are they telling you?
I did talk with young people, and sort of the question I asked everyone I talked to, but especially young people, was, what are your encounters with the police like? And to a person, everyone had a story. Everyone could say, I get stopped 5 or 6 times a month. I get stopped 9 or 10 times a month. I can't walk to my apartment without police asking me where I'm going. I can't really do anything. When I got to Ferguson on Wednesday morning, I got to St. Louis, got over at my car, the guy at the counter, who was maybe a little older, a little younger than me, told me, he was like, yo, I have a Toyota that I can't drive with the rims that are on it because the police will stop me. So in this area, it seems that being a young black person just means that the police are part of your daily life in a very antagonistic way, which I think is still hard for a lot of people, a lot of white Americans. I think, you know, I grew up in a mostly white area. It was a little hard for me to understand sort of that kind of reality where the police are just there. Like, you grow up in a white suburb, the police aren't there. You have to call the police for the police to come, and then when they're done, they leave. And that's not the reality for kids in St. Louis. It's not the reality for kids in New York and in a lot of other places.
Phillip, are you surprised to hear what Jamelle heard from the young people in Ferguson?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Every day in this country, police officers, people in this that are fans of television, fans of cops, are taught that young black people, young brown people, poor people in this country are dirty, have something up their sleeve, are less than human, and deserve what the treatment that police officers perpetuate and police departments perpetuate upon them every day. You have to do this. I had a story from somebody, one of our organizers at Lagos once told me that whenever his mother would leave the house, she would say, don't open the door for any strangers. And he would say, what if it's the police? And they say, then surely do not open the door. Then surely do not open the door. And so we've got a relationship with the police that has, since the history of police departments, has always been antagonistic. And it's not because of the people. It's because we have police forces that have a license to kill, and they're the only profession in this country that has a license of such weight that isn't put through psychological evaluations, that don't have the requisite training, that don't have the requisite cultural training placed upon them before they assume that profession. And so, of course, listen, if you're young and you black in this country, you got to watch your back, and it's not because of other young black people. It's usually because of the police. All
right, hold with us. Jonathan, it does occur to me there's another group that has life or death capacity who often don't have this kind of training, and that's physicians. And we see, I mean, you know, which is just to say we see a huge health disparity in part because of that. But let me back up from that for a second, because both Jamelle and Phillip have put their hand on this sort of feeling of like, I can't drive a car with rims on it, or I can't even go out. But this is happening at the same time that we have seen news reporting across the country of very different kinds of bodies holding guns, carrying guns, taking enormous weapons into public space, purposely saying, flouting, I have a Second Amendment and right to carry this. And I keep thinking, so if you're young and black and a man and you put up your hands, and I can see from your hand that you are not armed, you will be shot. But if you are, you know, a white man's Second Amendment, or, you know, in certain states walking around with your machine gun, that's allowable?
Well, social psychologists would call this an implicit association bias. and what that means is that, and I'm, as you know, doing a big project now on guns in America, and what I find is that the image of the crazy white dude walking around Chipotle with his semi-automatic, it tells an individual story. In a way, it's all about individual rights. And even after mass shootings, for example, we always say, oh, it's this individual shooter's individual brain when it's a white shooter. But we know from civil rights protests on down that when it's the angry black man, all of a sudden it's black culture. It generalizes in this very diffuse way that, that people associate an individual. Sometimes there are violent individuals from all backgrounds, but the association people make is, oh, all black men are violent. And in a way, we just heard about the possibility of kind of training, and I think that if there is such training, I don't know, I mean, obviously it's a bigger cultural story, that it's that association of a generalization that we make, where we see, again, the white guy in Chipotle is an individual, it's my individual right, or black culture, and all of a sudden all young black men look the same to police.
Everybody stay with me. I'm going to get you in as soon as we come back, Phillip Atiba Goff, because I want to ask you about this question of training and whether or not it would make a difference. What Phillip Agnew was saying. Phillip Agnew, you stay with me as well, because I worry about the extent to which we as adults want to protect young people, and you as Dream Defenders, Black Youth Project, want to actually be in the heart of it. And I want to talk about that. So up next, we're going to talk about Hands Up, Don't Shoot.
And I have a son that's 27 who has dreads down to here, and I have to talk to him every day. When you are stopped by the police, you don't say a word. You don't move. We should not have to do this. We are citizens of the United States of America.